If you're planning to come and work in China as an ESL teacher, here are 6 groups of learners you might be hoping to meet. So today's video, I am going to be telling you about the groups of learners and a little about how these different levels operate on a daily basis. Ladies and gents, welcome to the First Time ESL Teacher Podcast on Vibes with Pet. I am Petrol, a certified ESL trainer. A lot of people have always worried about what group of learners they should agree to sign to come and work with while in China. Don't worry, or worry less. Today, I am going to help you to understand a little about the different institutions and a different group of learners you might meet when you come to China. So we're going to start with the youngest level, which is the kindergarten. This group of learners vary from the ages of 1.5 and a little bit over up to the ages of 6 or up to the ages of 5 point something. And this group of learners begin school as early as 7:50 in some cases and 8 o'clock in the morning in other cases. And then by midday or by 11:30, 12 o'clock, 12:10 in some cases, they have a break. So that means you as a foreign teacher will definitely be having a break around that time. And you might resume work by 2:30, 2:20 in some cases. And you will be ending your day by 5 p.m., 5:30 or 6 o'clock, depending, very few cases, if you choose to work as a kindergarten teacher. Secondly, we do have the primary school group. So the primary school group is sometimes a little more flexible than the kindergarten group because the primary school teachers have times when they spend most of the time like office work. They do have more free time than the kindergarten teachers because in most cases I have seen primary school teachers having days off, days on which they do not have to go to teach, and days on which they begin school at 9 a.m. or 5 p.m. on some days. They are off, do not have to roll on the ground like kindergarten teachers would do in order to be able to get into the level of the children. So you have primary school teachers basically do stand up in front of the class. They do teach using PPTs. Their games are usually board games and dialogue games. You know, they do have a different approach to teaching. They do engage a lot on debating. You know, they do engage a lot on using the board to teach the students. So the primary school group, as well as the secondary school group and even the high school group, are more flexible when it comes to the number of hours you get to teach in a week as compared to kindergartens. So they usually have more free time and their holidays are way longer than kindergarten holidays. You know, you have primary schools, middle schools and high schools who begin holiday maybe by early June or late May. But kindergartens do begin holidays sometimes late July and some of them in August, meaning you might only have a few weeks of holiday since school resumes in September, or you might have a month of holiday, while the other groups mentioned earlier do spend like 2 months or 3 months of 2 months tops of holiday. But what is advantageous in most cases is that most employers do pay for the holidays. Some employers pay full pay, like full month salaries for the number of months you stay out on holidays. Meanwhile, others do pay you per work day, and others, if you're unfortunate, do not give anything as a holiday allowance. But you don't have a choice. You must take the holidays. Now, over to university, the university group, which I think is college group as it's called in some countries. So the university group is even more relaxing, more flexible, because they do have less teaching hours in a week, and they do have more free time. They do have more flexible teaching hours, and their holidays are equally as long as that of the primary, secondary, and primary, middle, and high school. They do take holidays as early as the end of May, so they do have more time to spend on holidays. So, and the last group is the training centers. Yes, this group is not that flexible, because when you work at a training center, it is so hard to take a holiday, like a really long holiday. What you can do is take an annual leave. Yeah, in most cases. And in majority of the cases, those who work in training centers do not have a holiday. They do work mostly in the afternoons, and in a week they might have 2 days off, and definitely not on the weekends. So because it is on the weekends that the learners come in from their jobs, come in from their main schools, and they come to the training centers during the weekend or after the normal school hours to be trained or in order to learn. So those who work at training centers do not have fixed holiday periods, except national holidays. And even in the case of national holidays, they usually have their holidays shortened. So if you are making a decision to come work as an ESL teacher in China, you should think and choose wisely. If you choose to get a training center, you should know that you have sacrificed your holidays and most of your time, because you will be working when others are having holidays, and you only depend on your annual holiday to be able to have a rest. So guys, that is all about the setup, the education setup of ESL learning in China. If you decide, or if you are decided to choose or to come work in China as an ESL teacher, you should know exactly what you will be expecting, what you will be facing, and how you are hoping to manage it. I hope this video helps you a lot, and I hope it makes you to plan ahead of time so that you do not get embarrassed or you do not get frustrated because things do not go the way you planned or you hoped that they could go. If you are new to my channel, please subscribe, share my videos, make comments,